Hi guys. So today we are going to be discussing something that I've seen many people asking on these communities, which is if there is more than one twin flame. And I want to try and give you a more straightforward answer to this question, which is not as straightforward as most of you think at first. And this is because sometimes you feel a deep sense of connection to more than a person along your life. But what really may be happening to you is that you are confusing soulmates with twin flames. And the person you are calling a twin flame is actually a soulmate. That's why you think you have more than one, because you can actually have several soulmates or people with which you have an history in the past or a karmic bond. So to understand a little bit more, what's the specificity of this relationship with a twin flame that you will not see in more than one person, we need to clarify what are the main differences between twin flames and soulmates, so you don't confuse soulmates that you may find several times along your life with a twin flame relationship. A twin flame relationship is not just a relationship of deep connection, it is a relationship of deep connection in a set of deep conflicts. And by deep conflict, I don't mean that you and your twin will be fighting all the way, that's often not the case. What I mean by this is that your deep values and life choices, your fake self, and your the way you were raised, your values or visions of the world will be deeply oppositional to this feeling of love you feel for each other. And that's why this relationship is a challenge, that's why it triggers you, and that's why it heals you and it makes you grow. It doesn't mean that you are not the same deep within you and your twin. You are at an energetic level, but your societal build-up will be completely different. As for your soulmates, this is not the case. Soulmates will resonate with you deeply, but in a very similar, in a very convergent manner. Their role in your life is to teach you, it's to ease the load a little bit, but by being side by side with you at all times. Soulmates, as opposite to twin flames, are fairly common. They don't even need to come from another lifetime or dimension. You can actually create a soulmate bonds here and now in this lifetime. So you technically can be a soulmate to whomever you resonate with. It's not half as mystic as a twin flame, although it can imply deep love, empathy, and even telepathy as in a twin flame relationship. You will thus very likely come across more than a soulmate in your life. Also, soulmates, when coming from past lives, tend to have karmic relationships with you somehow, and this will reveal itself through the course of the relationship you have with them. You will help each other, or you'll be enemies even, but you will be in a relationship that teaches you something. The relationship itself, I mean. Your twin will trigger you in more than it will teach you. Let me explain this a little bit better to you. Although, of course, you can learn from the way your twin triggers you, this knowledge will be an internal one. It's something that will send you back to your childhood, to your underlying problems and wounds. It's something that will send you on a self-discovery journey. The lessons you learn from your soulmates are much more direct. They are lessons that you take from the dynamic of the relationship you have with them, and not from an increased sense of self-knowledge and of self-exploration that you gain through the relationship with your twin flame. Also, another difference is that your twin flame will probably not be the person you will have a romantic relationship with. I'm sorry to break out the news for you. I don't mean it's not a beautiful love story. It is, and it's very romantic at some points, but to romanticize it in any possible way is to cast a deep shadow on what is meant to be, and most of the times a great distraction to your soul journey. So it's very unlikely that you will have this happening to you more than once as a pattern in your romantic relationships. If this guy resembles the previous one, probably none of them is a twin flame, because you only have one twin flame. You will know that this person, your twin flame, is different than anything else you have experienced before. It's not a love that dwells on the romantic and affective realm so much, but a love that makes you time travel, that exists in the love you have for yourself, that exists in the love you have for your story, for all that is, for all that will ever be. And at the end of the journey, you will see that there is almost no infatuation towards your twin, even if it was the most infatuated you've ever been with anyone at the beginning of the journey. You will see that the nature of the relationship with your twin is completely, it's completely different. It's like a relationship with God itself, not really something that dwells on the specific things of the affective world, like with the soulmate. Having said this, I would like to make a caveat here. In theory, it's very possible to have more than a twin flame because all energies converge to a higher soul. So all energies are created equal at source. But the strong energetic synchronicity you have with your twin is created at a branch. Let's imagine it's a tree, and it's created at a branch of the tree where the branches are not very divided yet. You have a more direct link with your twin flame. Think of identical twins in real life, and this is as close to it as it can get. So it is extremely, extremely unlikely that in this lifetime, between billions and billions of people, you would come across a twin flame more than once. Another thing is that your twin flame will provoke you deep unrest, but this is not an unrest, the typical unrest from being in love, from not knowing what to expect from a relationship or anything like that. It is an unrest towards the frontiers of your world vision, your status quo, and more than anything, this will be something that will be very defining of your twin flame relationship. How many people can you say that completely make you tell all your story from birth back and forwards looking for answers? Probably one, and that's your twin flame. Your twin will define all you are all your life from head to toe. Your soulmates will not. At most, they will reap the great benefits of it and add to it a little bit here and there. So, long story short, no, you will not have more than a twin flame. You did not win the twin flame jackpot. Having said this, sex and connection aren't finished with your twin flame, thank God, and most of us will end up will end up finding someone that will provide for us in the affective realm as much as we think we need from our twins. So there are not several journeys. This is only one journey, a journey to travel through all your life. So that wouldn't really make any sense if you had to be starting this journey over and over again with every twin flame that you met. You're probably just confusing this with karmic relationships. Keep in mind that even with karmic relationships and soulmates, the relationship you will have with them is not always a positive one. I have once come across a soulmate with whom I had a terribly, terribly toxic relationship some about 8 years ago. This was a narcissistic guy, and he was the pure mirror of all my deepest wounds, all my negative behaviors, all the facades that I had built to deal with my pain. He mirrored everything back to me in a way that was so perfect, that was so similar to my own energetic level at that point, that resonated with me so much in that energetic level that I was carrying with me at that point because of those wounds and because of that behavior, those behaviors that I used to have, that it actually healed me. It actually served as a way for me to say, oh my God, this is like my shadow side is this person. This is a personification of my shadow sides, and this is what I have to heal. This is what I have to address. So it was fundamental in changing myself too, and in also boosting this spiritual journey that I embarked on since then. So keep in mind that deep connection with someone doesn't really mean a twin flame relationship. A twin flame relationship is defined by a very specific set of characteristics. So study about it, read about it, listen to videos about it if you really want to know, because you will see that the characteristics of a twin flame relationship are very constant in the discourse people have. And watch out, because sometimes people confuse some of the behaviors of the that go on between twins with narcissistic relationships, and the dynamics that are created in narcissistic relationships. If you want to know also about that a little bit more, you can check out my video on narcissism. I have a video called "Is My Twin a Narcissist?" And you will see there that despite there is some resemblance in behaviors, a narcissist relationship is also very different from a twin flame relationship. So educate yourself on these matters. That's what I advise you to do. And if you like this video, please subscribe, give me a thumbs up, share this content, and make me feel your love for what I'm trying to do here, and help me grow this community. Thank you so much for listening. I wish you a good week.